So I was saying about the foundation of the Irish College here in Paris, and anyway, then they stayed here. They stayed in it. Well, actually, other colleges for 96 years, and then finally, it was Louis the XIV, I think, who said, okay, the Irish College, you can set up a proper college and have your own premises on the former College of the Lombards, that building. I don't think it was on this site, but eventually this site was obtained, and so it remained for a very long time. The French Revolution came along. Now the revolutionary government was against Catholicism, even though the majority of French people were Catholic. The revolutionary leaders were almost all Catholics themselves, but they first of all wanted juring priests to swear allegiance to the French Republic, and the Catholic Church was a very reactionary force, hated republics. Some Catholic priests said, okay, we'll be juring priests, primarily loyal to the Republic of France, not to the Pope, and eventually in the 1790s, France even declared war on the Catholic Church, remembering the Catholic Church was a political and territorial entity at the time, ruling the Papal States, as in central Italy, several states, ultimately ruled by the popes and legates, cardinals, to rule them. France even rejected Christianity altogether, set up the cult of the Supreme Being, which only lasted over a couple of years in the 1790s. But anyway, the Irish College got on board with the French Revolution, and when the chips were down, and the French Republic really needed money to buy weapons to pay soldiers, the Irish College, we donated our silver, our vestments, our pyxes or whatever, anything of value, chalices to be melted down and sold off to raise money for the defense of the Republic. So we ingratiated ourselves with them. I mean, not that I was a seminarian here at the time. Anyway, but eventually the revolution was over. Napoleon had eventually kissed and made up with the Catholic Church, and finally there was the restoration of the monarchy, Louis XVIII and all that, and France was officially Catholic state, so the seminary could function as normal, right up until 1904, when laïcité came in, secularism, the separation of church and state, and I believe it was then this was confiscated by the French government. So then it turned into the Irish Cultural Centre, and so it's remained all the time. To my intense disappointment, it's got signs up in English. I thought they might only do it in Irish and French. So if you look up above the door, you can see the Irish tricolour that Thomas Francis Meagher, a revolutionary, invented in 1848, based on the French tricolour, and you can see the flag of the European Union. We're both EU member states, the Irish Republic and the French Republic. And of course, some French people had come to Ireland to help the United Irishmen in 1798, arrived a couple of months too late. Lazare Hoche arriving in County Mayo, when there had been a rebellion on the east coast of Ireland that May. Had he arrived on time, or had the revolution not gone off half-cocked prematurely, probably would have succeeded, or especially if Napoleon said, forget Egypt, Hibernia is the priority. There was even an army of Ireland they'd sent, but they only sent a couple of thousand French soldiers. If they'd done it properly, they likely would have won. Anyway, so what else? So it's a cultural centre. Various events go on there, concerts, readings by any Irish authors or poets were here, social soirée and so on. It says they're residents. Do people actually live in here? I'm not sure. But owing to coronavirus, it's closed till the September. I think it's quite often closed in August, which is kind of odd because there'll be more tourists. You think some people will want to see what's going on. So that's it. It's in a very desirable part of Paris, really close to Le Panthéon, where the most celebrated French luminaries lie interred. So that is enough from the Irish Cultural Centre. Toodaloo.